Hey, how's everyone doing? Get that right there. We're not drawing that. Hold on. It's trying to do too many things here. Let me do this. Go over here. Go to desktop. And we are at that one there. Where is she? There. All right. Ish. It's going to be nice. All right, let me get my table set up here. How's everyone doing? Y'all ready to begin? I was just putting out a quick little. All right, welcome. Thanks for bearing with me while I got all of that little organized. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Monday afternoon live stream. Yes, Kevin just said he didn't want me, he was worried that we were going to be drawing a yak. No, we're not going to do that. That was last week. That was on Friday. But anyways, hey, I am glad that you're here. Like I said, my name's Kurt. I am a dad who draws. This is our Monday afternoon live stream. And this is every Monday afternoon. You can count on me coming on about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We always usually draw a landscape or a seascape. And I try and get it up to our Facebook group to vote on it and decide which picture they want to draw. And this is the winner for today. And so this is the one we're going to get on with it. Okay? So I am live right now, so if you have any questions, just throw it in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. And I think that's about it. If I do go too fast, just slow me down and say something in the chat, and I will slow down a little bit. But okay, let's do this. So let's talk about composition first, okay? And the first rule of composition I want you to think about, of course, is a simple one, but it's so powerful, and it's the rule of thirds, okay? And I've mentioned this before, but it's always worth repeating because you never know who is listening in for the first time. Hi, Paris, how are you? So what is the rule of thirds? Well, this picture is a great example of the rule of thirds. It's when you divide your picture up into thirds like this, or you could do it vertically, something like this, you see? This is the most easiest and will have the biggest dramatic input. It'll be if you do this to your drawings, just by doing this one little thing will really change them. So like you look at this photograph that we're looking at here, and the water is taking almost the bottom 1/3. And so then, you're going to have your bridge in here, and then we have our trees. And so just by that very nature, it makes it that dramatic. All right. The rule of thirds can also work in a vertical format too, just like this. Like, let's just say you had, this could be a cliff or something over here, and then you've got your individual over there or something. You see that also is going to cause drama. A lot of interest. Let's come down here. You can also do this sort of thing. This rule of thirds also works in a landscape format as well. Bam and bam, just like that, just like this. And we can apply the thirds going that way too, and down here. So if you focus of trying to get your main area of interest right in one of those areas, you're going to create a lot of interest in your composition. So let's remember that. And then the other thing I want you to think about when we draw this picture here, I want you, especially when it comes to landscapes, I want you to think of this idea of layering, okay? Like this idea of what objects are in front of which other objects, okay? This idea of overlap. So if you look at this picture and think of this, if I look at this picture and do a quick, you might have the rock here, and then you're going to have this rock face kind of come in there. That's overlapping our bridge that is, in the distance. Don't have to draw yet. We're gonna slow this down here. But look at this. This cliff of rocks is overlapping right there. We've got some other rocks there, and then you've got these trees are coming in here, and you've got more trees back here, and then you've got more trees back here. You see? See how I've just kind of used these basic shapes for overlap? This will make a big, when you start thinking of your pictures, as far as if you think of them as shape, and then you could go in there and start adding detail, it will help. It will really help speed things up and give you a lot of confidence, all right, to lay something out like this. Okay, any questions on that? We're good? All right. All right, let's get started then. I'm going to sharpen my pencil up here. Hold on. I'll turn the sound off for a second. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to watch this here. All right, let's start. I always like to, when I'm drawing landscapes, I like to draw some type of border. And get this border to kind of in the same proportion of the photo that you're using. So like also size-wise, let me show you this. Here is a very inexpensive Bic pencil, okay? So you can kind of get the idea of this is about how big I'm working here. Right, so I don't know what size this is. Maybe this is like 5 inches, maybe 5. Okay, so maybe it's a 4 by 5. Maybe it's a little bit bigger than that. So that's the area that I'm working in, and that will help me keep up. If you can't keep up, then work a little bit smaller. Then you can cover more ground, but don't go too big on me here. Okay, process of drawing that I always like to do is I like to think of gesture, construction, and then detail. Okay, so I'm going to hold my pencil rather lightly. Okay, and first thing I'm going to do is get that thirds. All right, so very lightly. Very lightly, I'm going to put this down. This is where the water's going to be. And if I come up here toward the center and look at the photograph, I could I'm just kind of getting the shape of where these trees are going to fall. They kind of come in here like this. This square, it's like almost a square here. This almost is the sky, okay? And then it comes in like this. You see this? Keep this really light. All right, let's come over here now. And this is, hi, do you do any portraits? Yes, Larry. We do a portrait on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, same idea. Great question, by the way, my friend. Okay, let's come down here now, and I'm going to just kind of block in where all these rocks are coming from over there. And this bridge is going high to low. So don't make it parallel. Let's get a little angle going here. All right. Now there's these rocks that are coming in right in like this. You see that? So this little waterfall rock, you'll see the edge of it. It's like right about there, almost maybe a little bit more towards center here. And it's coming in from this angle. Do you see that? We're going to make adjustments here. Keep everything as light as possible. Okay, then let's get this other cliff here. So this is where that little waterfall is coming right underneath the then if I come down here a little bit lower right here, this is where this you see this cliff right there? Got a little rock coming out of the water there. And then a nice one over here. We'll just put that in place there. So all I'm doing is just kind of getting the shapes in place. All right, so here's this other big trees coming in here like this. Okay, let's go ahead and get this, let's get the first arch. The first arch in this bridge here. Maybe something like that. Okay, then come over here and let's get the thickness. And I'm just going to put a little tone in here right now. Just a little tone to help kind of tell me what's going on. Right, this edge of the rock there, let's kind of come over here and just put some shapes here. These are going to be the other rocks on the other side there. Okay, let's get this rock that's like leaning over here. So let's go on the first edge here. And again, this is a landscape, so you don't have to be like exactly on everything. You don't have to be perfect. Here's the edge there, and then I'm going to put one close. And then the other one I'm going to push way over here. So this is a little bit less than that width right there. I'm going to add a little, just a little tone right now. We'll come back and darken that up on this side of the rock. I'm also going to add tone to this big rock over here. You know, all right, now by building this up slowly, it starts to reveal itself. So look at this. Look at this big rock. This is interesting. Look at that photo there, because we have another rock right about here that's much lighter in value. So let's just kind of outline where that guy's going to go, just like that. And then this huge one is overhanging. Look at this. You see? And this is where I'm going to drop in a darker value. All right, let's work some of these rocks over here first, okay? So I'm going to start over here on this guy. And you know, my process of drawing rocks, let me just slide this over here for a second. I will usually take like the overall outline of a rock like this. Come in here and kind of get my sides down, okay? In fact, we'll just do this sort of thing here so you can... And I think of like 3 values. So I'm just going to come in here with a light value first. You don't have to draw all 3 of these rocks. I'm just kind of putting it over here so you could refer to them. So now I'm going to drop in my second value. And of course, then I can drop in my third value. Once all these are established, now I can kind of come in here and do some smaller details by using like surface lines. I could sharpen up some of my edges here. Surface lines are what go along the surface of an object to help describe form. A great example of that is this idea here. If you had 2 tree trunks side by side, and sorry, just turn that off. And this one here, we're going to add some surface lines like this. See, I can tell the story of the direction of that tree, and then if I reverse it, You see, you could change the direction the way it looks. So that's really what we're doing here when we're dealing with rocks. Okay, so with all that being said, I'm going to jump back over here and start to work on this guy right here. So I'm looking at the picture, and I'm going to start off with my 3 values. Two values, and then my 3rd value. Now this is interesting. So this is what I look for when I'm drawing. You see the top of the rock, how much lighter it is? Well, problem is up here in this white area. Look at our photograph. It's a dark area. You see that? Because that tree is coming out behind it. So what I'm going to do right away is I'm just going to drop a shape back here. To make the top of that rock pop off, you see? Now we'll come back and develop that a little bit more, but that's where we're at right now. You see? All right, let's work on this. Let's work on these right here. So I'm just kind of following this pattern, this shape, this mass I have here. I'm looking at the picture here. Now this is much brighter. Look at that that value right there is much brighter than that. So we want to be careful here not to go too dark along the top. If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe to the channel, to my channel here, and that really is a big help. So I do appreciate it. So I'm just kind of going through here, and there's some surface lines there. Okay, now I'm going to just kind of squint here. Look at my picture and add some more value here where I see the darker edges. Okay, let's keep going. Let's jump over here. Let's jump over to these rocks here. So this one here, the water, if you notice this little guy right there, the water is covering him up. So let's just come in here with an interesting angle here. So I'm going to leave the negative space there. And then looks like we have this secondary. Now very closely here. This rock comes straight down like this, but then this one is kind of cutting through the water. So let's just be careful how we draw the outline there. And then this is really bright there, so we want to make sure that we're going okay. Just stacking these different rocks on top of each other. Okay. Okay, I'm going to work on this big one, just kind of making my way across. Now this is really dark under here. This is a beautiful dark shape that we want to pick up on, and even I'm just kind of leaving, it's not in the picture, but I'm just kind of leaving something down here, you see? Okay. Look at the value on this rock here. This value of this rock here compared to over here is about the same value of this darker area here. So we want to make sure that we darken this value back a little bit. Okay, going up the side here just a bit. Okay, let's come down here to the water. All right, I'll tell you what, before we do that, I'm squinting my eyes to really look closely at values. So like for this big rock down here, he's going to be a lot darker than the water around him. And this guy is going to be a lighter value. All right. Okay. And by the way, I really like to use, I'm not getting sponsored by these guys. I'm just telling you. I like Crayola pencils. They're cheap. You could buy them anywhere. And I just use them to sketch with. Okay. All right, so here, let's go ahead and add some tone down here to the water, leaving the white where you see all that foam coming in. So I'm going to start off light here. All right. So if you squint and look very carefully at your picture, you'll see that there are reflections of these rocks down in the water here. So let's just kind of come in with this shape of change of value here. It doesn't have to be like a lot of change in value, but just enough to show that those rocks are there. We're going to do the same thing over here. Look at this. This one also. And now with the surface lines, I'm just thinking of the flow of water, almost like a snake, a little bit across the surface here. With the rocks in the water, they usually have like a little bit of a flat side to them. And where these rocks in the distance here, I'm just kind of adding a little sharper edge. Okay, I'm going to leave this this turbulent water almost pure white, but right here in the little waterfall here, if you look closely, there is something like this. Hold on, I'm going to zoom this up here. You see? All right, let's get this tree in now. This tree is pretty prominent, so let's just start with, and I'm not using my wrist. I'm going to use my whole arm here. That will keep it nice and graceful. Just kind of following along some of those main branches. Okay, so look at ask yourself this question. Now, looking from here on up, where is the brightest bright? Well, it's the what? It's the sky. It's the sky. So all the leaves have to be a little bit darker than the white of the page. So let's come in here right now. And just using, look, I'm holding my pencil from the very back. And I'm just kind of creating tone where these leaves are. You know, drawing is like a puzzle. It's like we're putting a puzzle together. And you want to get like the corner pieces first. That kind of gives you that. Then you want to get the border, and then you might gather together all the yellow pieces and all the greens, and you put them together, and then you start bringing the puzzle up a little bit at a time, and then it finally starts to make sense. So that's why I really like to drop in my overall values before I start putting a lot of detail. You could do it the opposite way, but I think this way it really helps your eye like start to separate where the values are. Okay, now I'm gonna squint my eyes again, really squint my eyes, and look at the next layer. So this is the value of the leaves in the furthest back, and now I'm gonna drop in a value for the next grouping that's on top of this. You see? Look at this whole area over here is a darker value. So look at what we've done. Simply by using only two values. We've got the white of the page, we have the next grouping of leaves, and then I went a little bit darker with this next one. And so already I'm starting to get this really beautiful tunneling effect that I'm looking back into. And I haven't even added any detail yet. Hey, Rich. You're such a good son, Rich. I just got to tell you. Oh, Adam, thanks for tuning in, my dear friend. Okay, here we go. Let's look at these. I once knew a kid, Rich. Like, I think he had a different last name than you, but he was in our Cub Scouts a long time ago. All right, here we go. Let's look at these next grouping of leaves up here in the corner with our picture, okay? So I'm going to, again, go in one more time with a little bit more tone and just kind of put the tone where I could see the change in value with these leaves up here, you see? Isn't it great to draw leaves like this? Then you're not like then you're not like noodling them all. Okay. All right, let's get this branch. So I'm going to come in here kind of dark. I'm just going to look closely at the picture here. I'm going to leave some gaps. Just like that. Look at that. There's another one up here. All right. Come down here and I'm going to bring this trunk. Okay. When I'm drawing these branches, you know, I'm doing this sort of thing where I'm like, I do a little bit and then I'll take a little break, get a little smaller pieces. You see how I did that? Okay. You know, sometimes here's something that I'm just thinking about as I'm doing this. Let me come over here and show it to you. Let's just say you had, let's just do this right here. Let's just say you had this, there's a branch right there, right? And you've got another one down here per se. And it's just like, oh my gosh, there's too much contrast here. Well, the way you do that is that you have to darken in the background a little bit. And then you start making that branch disappear. So it's not as strong contrast, you see? So with this guy here, I'm going to bring in some more of these leaves here. By increasing the value. So I'm really creating leaves simply by adding value and nothing more. Oh, it is rich. Oh, that is hilarious. Oh, that's too funny. All right, let's keep going here. All right, let's go. Let's get these funny. I could hear my dad yelling your name. All right, let's do it. All right. Let's get this bridge in here. All right, let's come underneath here and get this shadow underneath here. I can't believe that's you. That's pretty awesome. Rich, my mom and dad are alive and well, and they're just keep going. Um, they're they're celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary, so we'll be heading out there to celebrate that with them. All right. So what I just did is I added these little keystone shapes. Okay, a keystone shape is kind of like this here. All right. All right, Sandy. We'll see you at 3 o'clock, my friend. We are drawing mushrooms, my friend. Uh, Sandy's referring to the other class that I have called the Daily Draw, and we get together every day for about 30 to 40 minutes and hit all kinds of different topics. There's a link in the description if you want to sign up for that. That's only $10 a month. You get you get amazing art education. All right, so on this brick facade, I'm just doing these little teeny scallops like this, you see? All right, let's keep going here. Okay, there's these lighter leaves back here, so I want to kind of color the areas around them. I don't want to touch them. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 3:15, Sandy. Rich, I'm sorry to hear about your dad. But I will definitely tell them you said hello, my friend. Okay, making my way across here now. I'm gonna start adding some of these. Oh, we gotta get going. I'm dogging it. Adding more value over here now. Look at this. You get this nice shadow underneath here. You see that? Oops. All right, let's get these. You've got this beautiful trunk of this tree. This is closest to us, so we can make him bigger than the rest. There's another one right here. And of course, draw this next one. Now these in the distance here, I'm drawing them a little bit lighter. We do that a little bit lighter like this because that creates what they say is called atmospheric perspective. That means that an object that is closer to you is going to be of a darker value than an object that's further away. Oh, I just saw that note you said about your brother, Rich. I'm sorry to hear that too. Okay. How's that look? That's not too shabby. Not bad at all. All right, I'm going to add a little more tone here for these. Okay, I'm going to come down here and work into this water just a little bit more. And yours might be different, but I'm really trying to look at some of these reflections here. Oh, thanks, Rich. All right, last thing I want to do in the last couple minutes here is this little area behind the bridge here. I'm just going to do it lightly. I'm going to add some different values in here just to break it up. And then to make this waterfall really pop, I'm going to add value right above it. So the white will, your eyes will go right to that little bit of white there. Okay, how's everyone doing? We got a couple minutes left here. Okay, the one thing on my picture that I see that I don't like, and I want to make an adjustment to is I can see I want to get some difference between the bridge here and this greenery. So I'm just going to come in here and darken the value of this bridge. Okay. Look, I think that looks pretty good. So please do make sure you subscribe and like the channel. Appreciate that. Comment. Oops, sorry. Leave a comment. Let's see. Of one area that you would like to improve in the next 6 months, and maybe I can help you do that. Join our Facebook group. Link is down in the description, and that's going to do it for today. So thank you everyone for watching. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and Rich, it was really nice to see you pop in. Adam and Larry, Paris, who else is it? Kevin. Okay, all right, you guys. Go out there, make your day great. We'll see y'all